Hello and welcome to our C# course by Eduonics. Today we're going to cover what to expect from this course. Our first section will be an introduction to C#, an overview on some of the features that were added, general syntax, and variable assignment. Next we'll cover data types. C# comes with standard data types and also its own decimal type. Then we'll cover methods, arrays, and structures. In the next section we'll cover selections and methods. So we have our selection statements, our jump statements, and we'll continue talking about methods, so more advanced methods. In section 4, we'll cover classes, and with classes we'll cover inheritance, polymorphism, and as-is type conversions. We'll also cover the different access modifiers available in C#. We'll talk about nullable types, so different data types that are allowed to be assigned null. We'll also cover interfaces. And so interfaces are used to construct your own custom classes. We'll cover enumerations. We'll also cover nested types, so these are classes within a class. And then we'll cover generic types, so types that are given when the object is created or used. In section 5, we'll get into more of the advanced C# features. We have delegates, which delegates are used to run certain methods. With delegates, you can use events. And C# has a good control over events, how to protect them, and how to notify listeners. We'll also talk about Lambda expressions. So these are similar to methods, but they're very easy to write. They are useful when working with delegates. We'll also talk about operator overloading if you want specific behavior from an operator such as plus, minus. We'll talk about extension methods. This is very useful in C# because if a class does not have a method that you want, instead of recreating that class or inheriting from that class, you can simply add an extension method. This is a method that will be added to the class. This is a method that will be added to the class somewhat temporarily. We also have anonymous types. So if you need a class that you're not going to use over and over again, you can create an anonymous type. And this can contain whatever data types you need. We also have dynamic binding, and dynamic binding is used to override the compiler if, let's say, a data type is looking for a certain method and it does not know this method at compile time, it will fail. But if we use dynamic binding, it'll pass at compile time. That method should be available at runtime. Next, we'll talk about preprocessor directives. These are directives that affect the build process. And the last part of the section, we'll be talking about collections. And collections are your lists and arrays. Next, we'll cover LINQ. LINQ is a query language used in C#. You can create your own queries, and there are several operators in LINQ. You can also connect LINQ to an SQL database. And we'll talk about the different strategies and when forming these queries. In our next section, we'll cover streams and threads. We'll cover the architecture of streams, the different stream adapters. We have different things like text writers, text readers, file readers, and file writers. We'll also talk about file and directory classes. These are classes that you can use to manipulate files. Then we also have network streams. This is data that's sent and received over the network. And then we'll talk about threads, so how to add multiple threads to your application. Then we'll talk about tasks. Tasks are similar to threads, but their behavior and overhead are a little different. And in our last section, we'll cover ASP.NET. We won't cover all the topics in ASP.NET, but we'll cover enough so that you're able to create a site and take a look at some of the back-end C# code. Well, I hope you enjoy this course and you're ready to begin our first section.